Studio 666 is directed by B.J. McDonnell and stars the Foo Fighters. The legendary rock band moves into a mansion steeped in grisly rock and roll history to record their much anticipated 10th album. Now, I would consider myself a pretty casual fan of the Foo Fighters. I like their music, but I'm not a die-hard fan. But even then, just seeing the trailer for this movie, yeah, I thought it looked ridiculous, but it looked ridiculous in the most fun way a movie could look ridiculous. And fun it was. My God, this is one of the most entertaining movies I've seen since Jackass Forever, honestly. This movie was just so much fun. Let's just get one of the best parts about this movie out of the way as quickly as possible. The music in this movie is awesome. Yeah, the song that the band is working on in this movie rocks, but I was also surprised by the musical score. The theme of this movie actually has a lot of personality to it, made all the more awesome by the fact that John Carpenter composed a lot of it. Yeah, that John Carpenter did a lot of the music for this movie. Another surprising factor for me is that on a technical level, this movie's actually really well made. There are a lot of really creative camera angles that this movie gets away with because it's a horror film and an over-the-top horror film at that. But there's also a lot of really great prosthetic work when it comes to the kills. A lot of the kills in this movie are really bloody, really brutal, and really over the top, and I absolutely loved it. It's actually a marvel that a lot of this was actually done practically with models, especially in this age of CGI. The extra mile about the prosthetic work and the practical effects does make a huge difference in the long run. And true, a lot of the story is flimsy, and if you really pay attention to it, it is really stupid. But in a strange way, the movie knows it's stupid, so it just has fun with it. This self-aware attitude that the movie has makes even the worst scenes a lot of fun to watch. And the absurdity of everything from the characters' attitudes, to the kills, to the lore, not only adds to the entertainment of it all, but also adds to the comedy. This movie has the sense of humor of the Evil Dead movies, and I absolutely love it. But with that said, not every joke works. There are a couple lines that aren't focused on the absurdity of the situation and are just written lines of jokes that really don't work. They come off more as sitcom jokes in a bad sitcom to the point where you're actually expecting a laugh track to be followed by it. That, and as much as I love their music, I'm sorry, the Foo Fighters are not actors. All of the performances come off as really wooden and one note, especially Pat Smear, who I swear to God only has one smiley expression throughout the entire movie. And I think a lot of their more awkward moments are meant to be in-jokes, but to casual fans like myself, and I'm sure to even diehard fans, I never really got the joke and it just fell flat. I'm going to reveal a lot about my age with this next statement, but the character-related in-jokes in this movie are sort of the equivalent of if you just watched the Big Time Rush movie and never saw the show that it was based on. The only problem is, this movie has no show that it's based on, so all of the character in-jokes in this film are sort of just for the actual members of the band and the people who know them best, not for just audiences watching the film. And lastly, I do think the ending goes on a bit too long. There is a climax, a fake-out ending, and then an actual ending, as is the usual with most horror films that this movie is spoofing off of. The only problem is the fake-out ending is like 5 minutes long, and it just goes on forever and ever and ever and ever, and then it just happens. They move on like it never happened, and then the actual ending happens. This movie is an hour and 46 minutes long, so you didn't really need that fake-out ending. You could have just went from the climax to the actual ending, and it would have flowed perfectly. But with all that said, problems and all, I don't really care. This movie's a ton of fun. The acting's not very good, a good half of the jokes fall flat, and the movie's pacing can be a bit flawed at times. But the music is awesome, the cinematography is creative, the kills are memorable, and it has a self-aware tone that knows it's ridiculous, has fun with its ridiculous nature, and those are the moments that are not just funny, but downright hilarious. This movie is kind of like if Bill and Ted made a horror film, but it was made by the guys who Bill and Ted idolized in the world of music, and I had an absolute blast with every second, flaws and all. I'm going to give Studio 666 a B. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, who's your favorite rock band? For me, there's only one answer, and that is Queen. Queen forever. R.I.P. Freddie Mercury. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.